entering studio mode. Thank you, Oscar. So you want to get the right height. So, I'm not getting the headphone sound. You want to make sure that your mouth is lined up with the right thing. And sometimes if I decide if you're more comfortable with shoes on, with shoes off, I'm usually constantly barefoot when I sing, which makes me about 5 inches shorter. In this case, I have lower heels on, but if I were to really be in my bare feet, he'll have to lower it. So adjust your mic with whoever it is that's helping you. In this case, it would be Oscar, my longtime engineer, who's worked on every record of mine since Stripped. So here, yeah, you want to find your balance. I don't like these things, poppers.
Pop filters. Yeah.
Pop filters, poppers, I'll call them. And, you know, because there has to be a certain width away from the mic so that sometimes if you're, you know, saying a word that starts with the letter P, sometimes we put too much emphasis on it. If it's too strong, this filter is going to make sure that the recording of the sound is not going to be too abrasive, be too harsh. But yeah, I mean, put little things in your studio to make yourself comfortable, to feel, you know, warm, cozy, reflective, creative, candles, little things like that. And when I'm in the studio for my Back to Basics record, for instance, I put red lipstick on for every single time I went in the booth pretty much because I wanted to get into that, you know, because it was a concept record and a throwback record. You know, I took all these images from old movie starlets of the time to older jazz and blues singers, and the color red was always such a classic color back then. So that's pretty much where I fell in love with having a red shade of lipstick whenever I entered the Back to Basics mode, and kept it ever since. So without the headphones on, it's a very, you know, closed, you know, muted sound, which I hate it. I like to feel open and a lot of wet reverb and whatnot. So in my headphones right now I can hear myself the way I like. I feel corny sometimes doing the whole 1-2 check thing. You know, it's just not my style, it's not my thing. It sounds so cliche, so I'm always something that gets the point across with hearing how you sound back, just to make sure I have the right echo, is the That's kind of a sound that I make. You know, I get to hear not only if the EQ, the sound quality is you know, it's technically giving me the boost, so I don't feel like I'm in a tin can, to make sure. So if I go you know, the kind of gets me into my throat. I can hear that back. Do I have a deep, rich tone? And also the sharpness of the sound at the beginning is giving me good sort of sharpness to see, do I have enough reverb? So the two of those things work together for me. You know, when I record a song or a track, I want to, you know, you want to make sure all the levels are right. Are the drums too loud? Am I getting enough drums so that I can feel it? So I can feel the momentum to get into the rhythm of how I'm supposed to be singing. You always want to just line up your mouth with the main focal point of where you're singing into. So it's a matter of making sure you have the right distance, the right gauge, and unlike, you know, being in control and being able to use your hands when you're performing live, you know, I'm pretty much sometimes eating the mic, you know, to get my point across if it's a low thing, and then I can have the, you know, freedom of pulling it back if I want to. Here, you're definitely using more footwork. So to move up and back, you know, it's not about your arms, it's not about your hands. You definitely have to use more of your leaning and pulling back. Because if I sing too close to the mic and I'm doing the ad-lib, if I'm doing that and I'm too close, you're just gonna get distortion. So, you know, a good engineer is gonna help ride your volume too a little bit. So he can control sometimes in there when he knows you're gonna get loud. That's good to have a relationship with who's recording you so that you guys are on the same page. So if you're recording loud, he can almost anticipate that for you so that you don't have to sometimes do so much work. It's good that you both are anticipating and looking out for the same things. Because, I mean, let's get an example of distortion then. If you want to, I mean, distortion can also damage a mic. If I were to sing that too close, though, There's too much rub in there. It's too abrasive, right, Oscar? You got a little distortion in there? Okay, so, but yeah, you wanna make sure you're not damaging your voice, you're not damaging that, but if you have a good volume on your ears and a good balance of your sound within the control room, then, you know, it all works together. For a song like Beautiful, it's almost easier to have that moment of, you know, trying to be introspective with yourself and, you know, focusing and honing in on a song such as, you know, Beautiful, or a song that's a ballad, because it is more intimate and this is a more intimate space. So you're more one with yourself. It's harder actually, I think, to record an up-tempo because it does feel very confined, and in an up-tempo, you wanna feel like you're letting go more, you wanna be able to move, you wanna be able to dance, and sometimes you don't have that capability because you have to be all about this area right here. So it's a little trickier, but you know, it's all that much more important that that energy is also given to the focus of getting a perfect vocal because it's being recorded and it'll live on in time. So getting into it, when you're behind the mic, you know, you wanna make sure for the highs and lows, there are different places that you wanna stand. So for the beginning of Beautiful, what's the key? Every day. Okay, so for the beginning of Beautiful, you wanna sing every day. I guess we could sing it there, you know, with the piano. We can use the See, now I could barely hear myself because when you're doing ums as an emotion, to make sure you're right up on there, because if you're back here, you're not gonna really hear it. But if I'm, you know, you wanna make sure you're right up on that mic. And sometimes you wanna record breaths, you know, the don't look at me, you know, is like, don't look at me. You know what I mean? You're just in that moment. So even in stacking breaths, sometimes you just for a texture-wise, maybe for the hook of a song, maybe in, you know, Genie, you know, for example, there's a texture to that where underneath it all, you do some whisper takes, you know, so within the layers that you stack vocals, just to give you a full backing sound, maybe there's, you know, that you want that breath, that kind of thing underneath that gives you the support and meat behind accentuating a rhythm. Maybe it's, I'm a genie in a bottle, babe. You know, sometimes you have to just layer those sort of whisper vocals, if you will. And that sometimes creates a bed of just breath and juicy goodness that comes underneath the chorus of a song. Adds sex appeal, adds fun, adds playfulness, whatever it may be. So let's do it again. And as we go throughout the song, I'll sort of explain and pull back and forth, so. Oh, yeah. Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's so hard to breathe. Now and then I get so insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed, but I am beautiful no matter what they say, 'cause words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way, oh, 'cause words can't bring me down. So don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say.
down today. Oh, don't you ever bring me down, not today. Don't you bring me down, not today.
Maybe for a second, you want to like linger on that whisper, you know, just
Today, today.